Okay, so you talked a lot about your app. Could you please run us through the app and the features, and tell us what was the motivation of making the way you made it?
Sure. So in order to show you how the app works, I will share my screen. The MWB Connect app helps our students set very clear professional goals, and it teaches them how to pursue these goals with a lot of patience, focus, drive, perseverance, and joy on the one hand. And on the other hand, it allows them to connect with our mentors who will help them accelerate the process of achieving their goals. Because the first part that I've mentioned is at the core of our mentorship program. In order for our students to receive the MWB certificate after 3 months, they have to add at least one step per week for achieving their professional goal in the app. And they also have to solve 3 quizzes each week related to the mentor process goal steps, relaxation method, super focus method. So the 3 exercises from our training. So when they press go, they get 3 quizzes with a brief explanatory text before each quiz. And the first quiz is, how do we make the plan for achieving a certain goal clearer and clearer in our minds? The correct answer is the third one, by asking ourselves on a regular basis, what else can I do in order to achieve my goal? Then they go to the next quiz, and the same thing, a brief explanatory text, then the quiz itself. And even if they answer a quiz incorrectly, let's say that I select here the second answer, which is incorrect, they can try again. So they go from the beginning, and then they can attempt to answer this quiz correctly. And when they close the window with the quizzes, they can see their clear professional goal that I recommend to all of our students in the beginning at the top. And the goal is, I want to work in my preferred field and have an income of at least $1,000 per month. And then in order to add steps, they have to press the add step button, and they have to take a few minutes to ask themselves, what else can I do in order to achieve my goal, and add any idea that comes to their mind. So for example, in the beginning, they might get ideas such as, I have to attend the sessions, or I have to pay attention to what the mentor explains, or I have to do my homework, and so on. But as they get introduced to the professional concepts by their mentors, they will gradually come up with ideas which are more and more related to the field that they are being taught from. And gradually they might also get ideas such as, I have to prepare my CV, I have to start applying for jobs, I have to decide if I want to work as a freelancer or in a local company, and so on. And here they can also see the tutorials for the 3 exercises from our training, for the mental process goal steps, with the explanations for why we get ideas, why we get energy, why we get confidence. Then the tutorial for the relaxation method with the quick and deep versions, and the tutorial for the super focus method. Okay. And if the students want to connect with our mentors, they have to press the Find Mentor button, and they will see the list of fields where we currently have available mentors. And when they select one of the fields, let's say programming, they will see a list of compelling reasons why it would be good to pursue a career in that particular field. And when they press Find Mentor again, they will see the list of available mentors who are specialized in that particular field, with the subfields, skills, and availabilities that the mentors have added to their profiles. So if I'm interested, for example, in web development, and I want to select the first mentor, I can look at the list of skills that that mentor has added to his or her profile for web development. Okay, and then I select web development. I also select the availability that works best for me, let's say Saturday. And when I press send request, I can also choose my preferred day and my preferred time for the lessons, let's say 11 a.m. And when I press send request, the lesson request is being sent to the mentor, and I get the message waiting for the mentor to approve your lesson request. The mentor receives a push notification saying that this student from this organization is requesting a web development lesson. And when they open the push notification, they can either accept or reject the lesson request. If they choose to accept it, they have to paste the Google Meet or Zoom link for the lessons. And they also have to select a number of lessons, let's say 2. When I press send, the lessons are being scheduled, and the student receives the Zoom link for the lessons. The mentor can add more lessons at any time, and both the mentor and the student can cancel either only the next lesson or the entire lesson recurrence also at any time. Here at the top, we can also see that the mentors will do the MWE training with the 3 exercises, the mentor process, goal steps, relaxation method, and super focus method, for 1 month before they can accept lesson requests from our students. And in their profile, they can add the subfields, skills, and availabilities, and also select the maximum number of students per lesson. And these details will be visible by the students in the list of available mentors.
Oh, that's an amazing app. The way all the elements that you talked about in terms of the relaxation part, the goal setting, and the programming, the interaction with the mentors, so rich. It's amazing. Obviously, this wasn't built on one fine day. You just made this whole app, and neither is it going to be static exactly like how you showed it. It probably is going through a process by itself. So it'll be great if you can tell us your process in refining the apps. How do you figure out the features? How do you get the feedback? And how do you put it back into the app so that it's more useful, more robust for your students as well as your mentors? Because this is something that my students who are watching this video are also going to be doing thrice in this course. So if you can help them, guide them with what you did with your app, it will be really beneficial for them.
Sure. So right from the start, I knew that the app had to have these 2 very important parts that I had talked about. Right. On the one hand, it would have to allow the students to see their clear goal written and updated if they wanted at some point. And they also had to have the possibility of adding at least 1 step per week. Actually, they can add whatever number of steps they want at a time, but they are getting reminders, like I said, to add at least 1 step per week for 3 months. So they had to have this clear information there that in order to receive the Mentors Without Borders certificate after 3 months, you'll have to add at least 1 step per week and solve 3 quizzes until the next deadline. Okay, and the app would have to allow them to add these steps and also solve 3 quizzes per week during these 3 months related to the 3 exercises that I've mentioned. And for this part, in the beginning, I had made it in such a way so as to allow the students to add the steps and see the tutorials for these 3 exercises. And my initial idea was to show them 1 quiz at a time, so that they would open the app, they would add a step, they would solve a quiz, and then they would be motivated to open the app again during the same week, right, in order to solve another quiz and another quiz and so on. But I found that this wasn't working really well, so I put the quizzes together with button next quiz, so that they would add the step and solve the quizzes in one go, because I found out that they wouldn't return to the app afterwards anyway during the same week. So this was one part, and for the part that would allow the students to connect with mentors, my initial idea was to have the Find Mentor button, which I had shown in the app. And when they pressed this button, they would get a message that you will be connected with one of our mentors. And on the back end, I had built this algorithm that would send one lesson request after another to various mentors based on the availabilities that the students had specified in their profiles and their fields of interest. And if a mentor wouldn't accept the lesson request in 1 hour, then the lesson request would be sent to another mentor, and so on. So this would all happen on the back end. So this was my initial idea. But I soon realized that, without even testing this approach for too long, I realized that a much more efficient way would be for the students to see the list of mentors in front of them, and for each mentor to see the soft skills and skills that they have added to their profiles and the availabilities, and choose from this list a mentor based on what they were seeing there. Yes, this turned out to be correct. And I also knew this because this was the process that I was going through manually before launching the app, actually, or even in the beginning after I had launched the app, because there were some issues initially that I had to solve. And during that time, this was the process that I was going through, right? I was getting the availabilities from the mentors and their subfields and some skills, and passing them on to the students, and finding out which students would be more suited for which mentors, and make these connections. Yeah, like, we didn't use this functionality for too long. The one that I was mentioning with the algorithm searching on the backend for a mentor to connect with the students. I've built this new functionality, and it turned out to work very, very well. So yeah, these were the main iterations basically in the app. Like, an issue that I had found in the beginning was the fact that around 10% of the students weren't able to log in for some strange reason. So I found it very useful to have WhatsApp groups with the students from our various partner organizations, where they could tell me about their issues. They could also find me in these WhatsApp groups and message me directly. And yes, in this way, I was able to find out very quickly what issues that they were experiencing, and fix them like as soon as possible. And when you have like a small number of users, this can be done quite easily. And this also means that even though obviously as developers we want the app to be like perfect from the start, this usually doesn't really happen, right? So there will be some issues which need to be fixed. And because there aren't that many users, I was able to have the feedback very soon. And obviously I would apologize for the issue and tell them that the next version of the app would have the issue fixed. So yeah, this is what I did with the login part at first. And then another thing that I found was that the mentors were waiting for quite some time until they accepted the lesson request. So I was monitoring the database very closely, because we didn't have analytics yet at that time. So I was monitoring what was happening on the backend, right, in the database connected with the app. And I was seeing there that quite a few lesson requests were pending. So initially I was sending manual reminders via email to the mentors to please accept the lesson request sooner, because the student would have to know if they need to find search for another available mentor. Okay, and then I have actually automated these reminders sent to the mentors for accepting the lesson requests in maximum 2 days, and also to add more lessons, schedule more lessons with the students if they were still available, and also within at maximum 2 days after the last lesson. So yeah, this is now automated, but I was able to find out about these issues by talking with the students on the WhatsApp groups, and also if the mentors were encountering any issues. There were also some issues in the profile for the mentors. There was one issue that I remember related to the time zone, because in India there is that half an hour, and this was creating some issues there. When I was doing the testing, initially I was only testing for my own time zone, so yeah, this proved to be a bit problematic for the Indian time zone. But I was able to find out about these issues very quickly, because the mentors were emailing them. And again, because there weren't that many users, like a few tens of users, I was able to connect with those who are experiencing the issues, personally apologize to them, and tell them that the next version of the app will have this issue fixed. So yeah, having this possibility of communicating with the users is extremely important, especially at the beginning, while there are still some issues to be fixed, because once those issues are fixed, and the processes, like the main processes, the core processes, are improved, then this will be the case for all the other subsequent users.
So that is iteration and feedback taken into account and worked upon at the very perfect level of it. So thank you for that. So we noticed while interacting with you how you dealt with the conflict of interest with children not having laptops and you arranging them from the IT companies and the older companies, the discarded laptops that they got. Then there was this. So as mentioned in the very beginning, we found your initiative and example as one of the best carried out forms of design thinking, and it does help out a lot of individuals in a great sense, I must say, right? So with Mentors Without Borders growing and positively affecting lives, the next big question is, what is the next big step for you? So there definitely, you mentioned that the app is going through a lot of iterations, and you need to figure out a lot of changes and updates in the app itself. But apart from that, what is it that you want to focus your efforts towards?
Sure. So one of the programmers that I had found on GitHub, it turned out that he was just graduating at that time when I had contacted him and connected him with a student from an organization from Kenya. He had taught the student for like 2-3 months, and during that period, he was starting work for one of the largest tech companies in the world called Atlassian, which has hired him, I think, even before he graduated, but he just needed to start with them after graduation. And when he started working for them, he also found out about the Atlassian Foundation, which is connected to Atlassian, the company. And through this foundation, Atlassian is allowing their employees to allocate 1% of their working time to helping various NGOs of their choosing. So they are providing them with a list of voluntary organizations, and the employees can decide which organization they want to help. Mukul, because this is his name, he's also from India. He asked me if I would be interested in connecting with the foundation. I said that I'm more than happy to do that. I saw this as a great opportunity to recruit many more mentors, and not only for programming, but from other fields as well. And this turned out to be true because after I explained, our mentorship program, our approach to the person in charge from the Atlassian Foundation, she was happy to, get us started with the process of recruiting mentors from among their employees. We've already had more than 40 mentors. Most of them programmers from Atlassian, but we've also had mentors for product management, project management, graphic design, human resources, customer support from the same company. And this will continue to be the case. They have also donated to Mentors Without Borders, which has been very, very helpful because I have these 2 collaborators that I had paid, for more than 2 years from my own pocket, and this came as a great help. Okay, and going forward, we want to expand this collaboration because we've had amazing feedback from the Atlassian employees who have been mentors of Mentors Without Borders so far. Like all of them, like 100% of these employees said that they would be happy to participate in this mentorship program again in the future. And it also turns out that Atlassian, together with Salesforce, have started this larger group called the Pledge 1%, made of more than 1,000 companies, most of them tech companies, and many of them based in the Silicon Valley, who are doing the same thing. Like they're also allowing their employees to allocate at least 1% of their working time to helping various voluntary organizations, and they're also helping them financially, right, with donations and so on. And in the future, the intention is to get as many of these companies initially from the Pledge 1% group on board, just like Atlassian on the one hand, and on the other hand, expand our collaborations with our existing NGO partners, right, from African and Asian countries for now, but we will gradually expand to South America as well, hopefully to Eastern Europe at some point. And have this great coalition of companies on the one hand and voluntary organizations on the other hand, that the companies would provide us with mentors, right, from among their employees, and the organizations with underprivileged students who are interested in the fields that the mentors are specialized in. And with the help of the MWB Connect app, the mentors and students can get together and schedule the lessons and go through this very important training that I mentioned, which again is really at the core of our entire mentorship program. This training really keeps the students going, right, by asking themselves, what else can I do in order to achieve my goal regularly, relaxing and focusing on each and every step. And ultimately, the goal is the same that I had set out back in 2018, right, to eradicate global extreme poverty. The plan has evolved since then, right? Like, it's not the exact same plan that I had started with in the beginning, but this is what happens, right? Like, you have the feeling that the initial plan that you came up with by asking yourself regularly, what else can I do in order to achieve my goal? You get this, super confidence that this is the plan that will work, and it cannot not work. But you find out at some point that there are various challenges with the initial plan. But you keep going. Like, you adapt the plan based on the feedback that you have gotten, and this is the current plan. Which, well, based on the feedback that we've had from our students on the one hand, right, from the voluntary organizations, whom, as I was mentioning earlier, many of them have started working as freelancers, have gotten international scholarships. We even have one student who has landed an internship in Google, or have gotten jobs in local companies, internships, and so on. So on the one hand, we have these students, and on the other hand, we have mentors who are really happy with the entire mentorship activity. It brings the mentors tremendous satisfaction to see their students succeed, right, in the fields that the mentors are specialized in. Teaching others how to fish rather than just giving them the fish brings them much more satisfaction. And it also allows the mentors to strengthen their own knowledge, because in order to teach someone efficiently, you do have to strengthen your own knowledge. So this is a way for the mentors to improve as well. The goal is the same. The plan is a bit different from the initial plan, and most likely it will keep evolving. But based on the feedback that we've had so far, both from the mentors and the students, we should be well on our way to achieving that goal. Obviously, not overnight. It will take, I'm guessing, around a decade or so. Optimistically speaking, obviously, because this is indeed a very ambitious goal. But now with the possibilities that we have that are enabled by technology, we can definitely make this happen much faster, right? Because there are more and more people around the world who are able to connect to the internet, have mobile devices. Like cheap smartphones have flooded all the markets basically, and our app does work on pretty much any phone, as I found. This is really great, right? With the help of technology, we should be able to reach our goal much faster than would have been possible, say, 20, 30 years ago.
Wow, amazing. I hope your dream of expanding it really comes to fruition. This has been very, very inspiring, and I hope our students can also pick up whatever you have done as an inspiration, so that they can scale great heights with using you as the role model, as the goal, saying, I'm going to be how Edmond has achieved and helped so many people with their goals. I'm going to be the same way as well. Then our dream will definitely come true. Thank you so much for spending so much time with us and explaining and walking us through your journey. Very, very inspiring indeed.
Sure. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much as well.
Thank you so much, Edmond sir. In fact, thank you for bringing up the change in plan during the app development. So, in fact, we have asked our students to, follow agile plus design thinking, which will allow them to incorporate the changes that happen during the app development phase. So that definitely helps with our project management and other related stuff. And thank you so much for sparing out so much time interacting and giving us a demo of whatever you do. And it seems like a very elaborate and loaded future ahead of you. So I wish you all the best and the other people, and a major, like, we have massive respect for you because of whatever you're doing is bringing about great change in lives of people, and that is I think what the essence of design thinking is. So thank you so much for your time again. It was great pleasure talking to you.